Logan's splitter is working, Bliss power swing finally worked, and we scraped a win together against our most hated division rivals. Welcome to the Dom Skeen channel, your one-stop shop for the Mariners storylines on Seattle's minds. The Mariners won another one-run game on Monday night, beating the Astros 4-3 to begin the second homestand of the year and the third series of the year. As Ryan Bliss hits his first home run, Logan Gilbert dominated with his splitter, and the Mariners found contact from Jorge Polanco when they needed it most desperately. The M's struggled with Hayden Wesneski on the Astros and his six-pitch mix which bought the Astros 7 innings. He only got 5 strikeouts, but allowed just 3 hits to us, with the only 2 runs of damage coming on Ryan Bliss' home run. He's been known for a while, was on the Cubs, was traded to the Astros in the Kyle Tucker trade, but he's long been known as a jack-of-all-trades, master of none with his 6-pitch mix. None of those pitches are particularly good, doesn't get a ton of swings and misses, not a particularly consistent starter, but he's a great fill-in, a great spot starter if you need to call somebody up, have an injury in your rotation. And as the Astros have a bunch of injuries in their rotation, had a bunch of guys depart last year, it's kind of in flux. He's kind of the perfect guy for them right now. Popular name in fantasy baseball circles this week, as he gets a really good 2-start week with the Mariners, and can't remember who the Astros play this weekend, but he has another good start. And then, anyway, with Logan, he got up to 99 pitches really quickly. By 5.2 innings passing, you think, okay, this guy is absolutely dominating. The splitter is just absolutely destroying these hitters. Looks like a 12-6 Justin Verlander curveball. And he's dominating. He no hits the Astros up until Jose Altuve swings on the first pitch, which ends up being a hanging middle-high curveball, puts that over our bullpen, bounces right behind our bullpen, pretty much into the Ballard Pizza Company in the pen, if you know where that is. Logan did have an incredibly good night with his slider, which I want to talk about. He had 6 whiffs on just 35 sliders thrown and 15 swings. That's good for a 40% whiff rate. So of all the swings that were taken at Logan's slider last night, 40% of them were swings that were complete swing and misses, didn't make contact. And these are major league hitters as the Astros lineup. And, that 6 swing and misses out of 35 sliders total is good for about a 17% swinging strike rate, which is absolutely elite. If a pitcher can generate 10 swinging strikes in one start on about 100 pitchers or, anything less, that's considered extremely elite. Prime Jacob deGrom might flirt with like 12, 13, 14, 15% sometimes. But even then, 10% is absolutely, top line ace level. And Gilbert had 6 swinging strikes just on those 35 sliders. So they were whiffing at that. And then on his other pitches, you had 9 whiffs on the splitter out of just 24 thrown and 15 swings. So a 60% whiff rate, and that's a little over that's about a 37% swinging strike rate. So a swinging strike as opposed to a whiff. A whiff is like a swing. Of all the swings, swings that missed. But a swinging strike is of all the pitches that the pitcher threw. Which ones did he get a swing and miss on? Whereas a whiff rate, again, it's really hard to explain this, and I've had to look up the definition several times as I've learned this the past few years. Whiffs are just swings that missed, whereas swinging strikes are pitches that were thrown that the batter missed. It's the best definition I can give. It makes it incredibly complicated that they're both pitching stats, that one's not a hitter stat really. I mean, we can talk about they both whiffs are used as a hitter stat, but also we talk about them in fantasy baseball circles a lot more in pitching. So Logan Gilbert's just inducing a ton of swing and miss right now. He's also pitching to contact a little bit since, as we said, through a few innings, he only had less than a strikeout per inning. Was getting a lot of soft contact. Anyway, took that no-hitter. Several innings. The Astros had an absolutely horrendous expected batting average in this game. Giving you the exact number, it's actually it ended up at 233, and our expected batting average ended up at 192 because we had a few, we were hitting it in between the gaps as well. Polanco, a nice slap hit, obviously scores the tying and go-ahead runs. And Polanco basically gave us the contact where we needed it most. After seeing Robles go out of the lineup, go to the IL yesterday, we're thinking, okay, we were worried about the Mariners and batting average and contact before the season started. Now, our best answer to that is, going to the IL. And today we found out Victor Robles is going to be out till the All-Star break, at least 12 weeks. So now, even though we took care of it last night, I'm really worried about where we're going to find contact until the All-Star break. And even after that, obviously, this team's got to go 80 games now and figure out how we're going to produce contact. Many thought, including myself, thought JP might bat lead off last night. We ended up moving up Julio. He hit the ball hard a couple times, but he did also strike out a little bit. So tonight, my prediction for the game, Framber Valdez is a junk pitcher. He also had a problem with, I think, his thumb or something, or he had an illness today. It's funny, there's several illnesses going around baseball. Cody Bellinger ate bad wings and didn't play today with food poisoning. Now Framber Valdez is feeling sick. It remains to be seen. The Astros still haven't announced a starter for tonight's game. So when their lineup comes out, it'll be interesting to see who's actually going to start for them. I could anticipate their lineup coming out a bit later than usual, maybe within an hour or two before game time rather than 3 or 4. As far as our lineup, it gets tricky because now with the platoon, how are you going to fit these guys in the lineup? Ryan Bliss just hit a homer, but Jorge Polanco has to get in the lineup, being by far our best hitter and having, I think, the highest expected batting average in all of baseball right now. So, but you do also want to fit Garver into this lineup. Give Cal a day off behind the plate, which I think you would do on Wednesday. However, you're facing Hunter Brown that day, whereas you face Valdez today. You might, we just haven't had Polanco playing much against lefties. And so it'll be interesting to see today. Do we play Polanco against a lefty, or is he going to be a right-sided platoon guy? Does Bliss earn the start at second, if Polanco doesn't play? And do we stick with Dylan Moore at third base, who I've been clamoring for? And although he had just kind of a boneheaded fielding mistake last night, same thing with Rowdy's error. You could say that was a tough hop, but it's just plays that you expect these guys to make. And maybe once in a while, they're going to miss those plays. Demo still has he's the only guy who has the arm strength, I think, to play third. Mastroboni definitely is a better glove than he is at bat. So I'd be interested to see more of him in the field at third base. But it doesn't seem like he's an everyday bat, certainly not right now. And it remains to be seen, really, if he is going to be a major league bat for us this year, or if that's just going to be a temporary thing. So Dylan Moore is really the only guy who makes sense to me at third base with the arm strength and who you want to put in your lineup every single day, giving those regular at-bats to. Especially when you consider that after that error, he goes out, leads off, and that leadoff at-bat by Dylan Moore to spark the big inning. That is an angry, control-the-zone at-bat that I think we need. I think we need somebody in this lineup who just takes it personal. As far as we want to talk about taking pride in the S that we wear on our head, taking pride in the S, that was a pride of the S at bat. I actually want to give a pride of the S award to Dylan Moore yesterday for having that mistake in the field and then going out there and just overpowering, just saying, you know what, I'm getting on base. I'm not letting that be the way that my night is remembered. And so major props to him for that. I would like to see Dylan Moore continue to start at third base. I'd like to see Bliss back in the lineup. His power swing shouldn't work with him being 5'7". It shouldn't work too often. I don't expect this guy to ever get to 20 home runs. But there's just a little bit of Shed Long in him where it's like, if he can control the zone and then punish mistakes, if we give him consistent at-bats and he gets just a little more experience, I think he could get more disciplined. He tore up every level of the minors. It did take him a while to do so, but I'm interested to see if Ryan Bliss can improve with his plate discipline. That being said, tonight, off Framber Valdez, I'm taking Julio to hit a homer. I really like Julio to punish, just a guy with no fastball, breaking balls. I think his plate approach has been much more measured after getting a lot more live ABs this spring. And I'm just feeling Julio is going to punish a junk pitch from Framber Valdez that he leaves hanging. I'm going to say the score of the game tonight, we've got Luis Castillo making his third appearance of the year. The La Piedra, not Luis F. Castillo, who I refer to as Luis F. The score of the game, I'm going to say, yesterday I said 6-4. Today I'm going to say, I'm going to go 7-2. 7-2 M's. And then I got 3 questions for you guys. We're going to do something new on the channel here. I want you to give me a Mariner to homer tonight, what the score will be, and how many strikeouts our starting pitcher will have. For just 1 sec. For those who guess 1 correct, I'm going to be giving out a Mariners 2025 magnetic schedule from opening day giveaway. For those who get 2 right, I'm still thinking of a prize. So I'm thinking I'll do a shout out on the channel if you get 2 right. And if you get all 3 right, if you get a Mariner that homers tonight, what the score of the game is, and how many strikeouts Luis Castillo has, I'm going to be giving away something you can't get anymore. Julio Rodriguez bat flip bobblehead. That's right, I did manage to snag a few of these, being at every game of that Tigers series. So if you guess all 3 correctly, this is what you're going to win. Also, if you want to win any of these giveaways, you do got to be subscribed. Smash that like button. With that being said, it's finally getting sunny out. It was rainy all morning here in Seattle. Hopefully it continues. We have some nicer weather in the evening. It looks like it's not going to be raining tonight. It'll be mid-50s for the game. And we'll see. Can we take advantage of the marine layer, or can the Astros? We'll talk about it here tomorrow. Peace out. Go M's.